Hey everybody, it's Kelly O'Black with this week's Stash It Monday video for the Crafty Maven Getaway. This is our inspiration piece for the week, and I loved the party and celebration feel of the entire inspiration board, and it made me think of my nephew's wedding. Their colors were black and gold, so this will go great, perfectly. That's a photo that was taken in a park in their hometown. And when I thought about that, I looked at the stripes of the vases and things in the background, and that made me think of this garland. So that's where that came from. Now I'm also cutting a piece of background paper there, and that background paper is from Studio Calico, the Atlantic collection, and the name of that paper is Seabrook. It's from 2012, so I dug deep in my stash to find that. Actually, I have papers pulled together and embellishments pulled together for this, so I just went in and found something old that worked. I'm using the blushy pink of the nails, not the hot pink in the inspiration piece there. So I've decided what I want to do is I want to lay the garland across the layout to sort of make my own background there. And what I'm doing is I'm sort of flipping the order of the garland so that it's not exactly the same across, because it must be a 12-inch repeat, because otherwise it would have been. This garland is from the paper studio at Hobby Lobby from the spare parts line. It's a gold and black garland from 2014, and that it was discontinued. So I had a package on it that it said clearance on it, so I bought it on clearance. So you may not be able to find this anymore just because it is older and has been clearanced out. So I'm kind of playing here just to make sure I like how this looks. I did cut a small piece of the garland off because it was a little bit damaged and I didn't want that on the layout. And I love how this brings in the gold colors from the inspiration piece. The little rosettes on the inspiration piece also made me think of this garland as well too, and I knew I had this in my stash, and I believe I bought this for my first nephew's wedding album and never used even a piece of it. So it was time to get it on a layout in a big way. So I feel happy that I've used just a ton of this. There still definitely is some left. I could do another layout. We'll see what happens, but at least I got it on a layout and it's not languishing in my stash. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking some glue dots and I'm just putting it behind those pieces to get them to lay on the layout. And why that's important in this particular case is two reasons. One of them is that the back side of the gold striped pieces are not actually foiled. So I don't want those flipping over. And I'm also going to attach pieces to those, the circles, which you'll see me start to do in a minute. And I don't want them flipping back and forth. I do still want to have as much movement as I can with these circles here, but I don't want them flipping back and forth in their albums. So that's why I'm using the glue dots here. And I'm kind of looking, I want it to look quote natural, you know, even though of course I've totally engineered how these are flowing, but you know, that's what we do all day with things that we're doing, like confetti and sprinkling mist and that kind of stuff. We want it to look natural, but we engineer that. So that's what's happening here right now. Just checking it out, making sure things look good to my eye. And they are, you know, the way they're laying is not exactly the same, but that's okay. And you're not going to see most of the middle one because it'll be cut up by that photo. Now, I did kind of look at that and try to decide whether I wanted that photo to be matted or not. And I am thinking about that a little bit as I'm working with this. I do think it stands out pretty well on its own because it is black and white, but I want to get a little bit more paper in on this page. Now, I have a ton of paper, so if I can use more, that's a really good idea. So now what I'm doing is I'm pulling some sheets of gold paper that I just wanted to try to see. And I do like this gold stripe. I'm thinking about using this small piece behind there. I'm also thinking about a little bit of vellum. I definitely didn't like the vellum, and I thought about just a piece of foiled paper. So as I looked at this, I thought, you know what? I think I really like the gold piece, but the small piece is a little bit too small. I think I want, if I'm going to mat it, I want the whole photo matted. And part of that is because of, it was revealing just tiny small pieces of the confetti circles. And I wanted those circles to either see more of them or not at all. So that's why I'm cutting this right now. And just the other thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it so it lays on 2 gold stripes, so there's not a gold stripe on one side and then just a white band on the other side, just like that. You can see that there. Now I have it pretty even there, but now I'm going to cut off pieces of the gold stripe because I think the mat is a little bit too wide here. And that paper is from My Mind's Eye, the fancy that collection. It's called I Do Love You, and the collection is from 2015, just so that you have that if you can find that. I love the wide stripes here. All right, and now I'm going to take some of my foam tape and I'm going to put it on the back of this photo. The reason for that is because the garland on the background is raised. It was causing my photo not to sit properly, and I didn't want my photo getting damaged by anything going on with the confetti. So by raising that up, it won't be, because now it's protected by the foam tape and also the background or the mat there. I do use the big roll of foam tape that you can buy at Amazon from Scotch, and that's the little bit left of the last one. I've had it more than 2 years and I keep using the heck out of it. So it's expensive when you buy it. You know, it's almost, I think, $30 US, but it lasts forever. All right, now I am grabbing some of the embellishments that I'm thinking I might want to attach to the confetti circles. These are things that I just have put in an iris box to use with my nephew's wedding album. Those gold stickers there are from Maggie Holmes Style Board, and I'm going to look at them and even place a couple on them to try them out, but I'm not going to end up using them. I end up liking some smaller stickers that I have there, and those are the smaller stickers there. They're gold stickers there. Those stickers are from Chic Tags Cloud 9, the gold label stickers. Those are also from 2014 as well. And I'm just finding phrases that I like, that I want to use. At the bottom, the phrase there says, "You are my favorite." The top phrase there says, "This is a must-have," in relation to the photo itself. And then the one on the black circle there says, "Noted." These are all of their attendants, so I thought that the "You are my favorite" would be kind of cute. Now I'm working with my fancy that chipboard buttons from the same collection that the foil paper came from. And I chose that little black floral button. I chose the gold button that says "Cheers," which is where the title of this layout is going to be from. And then I liked that heart polka dot too, that white heart polka dot, because hearts on a wedding layout are awesome. And then I also have just a plain gold button as well too. Then I went into the My Mind's Eye On Trend Awesome Mixed Bag is the name of the ephemera pack there, and I chose that acetate heart there, which is going to move a little bit here and there. I just like how right now the layout is very symmetrical, but I'm going to change that. I also have that little heart there that says cute. That came from a Crate Paper Valentine collection. I only had one piece left, so I think that Valentine collection was probably the 2014 collection, but don't quote me on that. Then what I did is I decided I wanted some more hearts on here. I found that gold foil heart one in the Awesome Mixed bag, but I decided I wanted some smaller hearts. So I'm taking a triangle from that Awesome Mixed Bag collection, and I'm using my I think it's called XP paper punch or XT punch. It's a mini punch, and I bought that, I believe, at Ben Franklin, which is a small hobby and craft store in my area. And I'm just going to punch a couple of these small hearts to scatter around the confetti pieces. And I like how that brings a little punch of color to the left side there. I'm not really putting dimension behind these pieces, the flat pieces, because there is dimension in the chipboard, and I just think with the confetti there's also dimension there too. I'm looking at my collection of little enamel shapes there, which are hearts and dots from the Yes Please collection. It's called Enamel Shapes. That was from earlier this year. It's like a black and white celebration collection. And what I decided to do is I decided before I started adding those in, I wanted to get the other pieces down just so that I knew that I liked the arrangement of where everything is. I just love the way these pieces are giving the confetti a little bit of an unexpected look to it. I guess the best way to describe that. And I'm using my glue dots again here. I have glue dots, I think, in 4 different sizes. I do use them a lot. I use the little tiny mini ones a lot, and the medium ones probably most often, which is what I think I have here. So there's mini, I think there's 3/8, ½ inch, and a large one. They do also make glue dots that are dimensional as well, so I use those sometimes too. So now that I think about it, I have 5 different kinds of glue dots. But I use them a ton, so I don't feel bad about that. Okay, just getting my little heart down there. And what I'm doing, there was a little piece missing out because I didn't punch it perfectly, and so I wanted that piece to be up against something white so it wasn't quite as noticeable. I know, no perfection in layouts, but you know, it'll be fine. I try not to get too caught up in stuff like that, even though it's a gift album. And just so you know, if you go to my channel, I do actually have a playlist for wedding albums for my own, for these layouts for this nephew's wedding, and then also for my other nephew's wedding of playlist. If you go to my Flickr account, which the link will be in the description, I have albums in Flickr of the layouts for all of those albums as well too. So if you're working on wedding albums, they're a good resource. At least I hope they're a good resource for you. And what I'm doing there is I'm just using my vellum adhesive to get that. I decided to put that down on the corner just to get some diagonal across the layout so that you look, because we in the English-speaking countries, we read from top left to bottom right, so that just draws your eye down the layout a little bit more. And now I'm adding those enamel shapes that I was telling you about. And I'm just about done adding all of these pieces here. I love the way this looks, and I'm so glad I finally got to use all of that confetti. The confetti trim, or garland trim. I am thinking a little bit about a title, perhaps. And I grabbed some of these Heidi Swap stickers, but it just, you know, I was looking at it and just thinking, I don't know. I feel like I was forcing it there. The word wasn't, you know, words that I was looking at were not quite right. I'm even going to try one here, the word fun, and figure out, well, maybe I can do it down there. And it just looks really forced to me, especially up there. So I decide I'm just going to forego a title, and I'm going to call this Cheers after the button in the bottom right. I'm just about finished. Hope you are all well. Here are some still shots and detail shots. Join us tomorrow for more on the Crafty Maven Getaway. Bye!